What's up, guys? Today's video is going to be about how Jesus says in the Bible, pick up your cross and follow me. He's not saying that every day when you follow Jesus, life's going to be super easy. God says life can be hard when following him. When you're trying to follow Jesus and you turn your life around and you go after him, sometimes life doesn't get easier. It's a misconception that when you follow Jesus, everything just becomes perfect, that you're never going to have a problem again, that everything's going to be great, that you're just going to live a perfect life. Sometimes that's not true. Sometimes you follow Jesus and terrible things still happen and life's still super hard, and you wake up and the same problems you had yesterday are still there, even when following Jesus. The Bible doesn't say, that you're just going to follow Jesus and when you start following him that your life's going to be perfect and it's going to be easy and you'll never have a problem again. That's not at all what it says. Look at the life of Jesus. When he came to this earth and he was with us and he was helping people and all, Jesus had a hard time. People gave Jesus a real hard time. They ended up crucifying and killing him. He was getting thrown out of towns, and he was getting, when he went to his own hometown, he was preaching in church and they took him to a cliff and they wanted to push him off and kill him. That's Jesus. If Jesus had that hard a time when he came, what makes you or me think that our time's going to be even easier, or we're just not going to have the same problems or the same issues, or that the same thing won't happen to us that happened to Jesus? I doubt you'll be crucified or anything, but I think and I'm pretty sure that you're going to have some trials and some tough times, and that sometime in your life, things aren't going to go right and you're just going to have a bad day. And not every day following Jesus is sunshine and rainbows. At the end of the days, the Bible says there's going to be a mass falling away, that Christians will be persecuted and killed, and life's not going to be good. Life is, it's not the most promising thing you've ever heard in your life. The Bible really tells us to walk down, know what you're going to follow after, pick up your cross. If you want to follow Jesus, you pick up your cross and you follow him up the hill of skulls, or whatever it's called, Golgotha, to be crucified with him. When you go to church on Sunday, you read your Bible, you probably aren't thinking about, I gotta pick up my cross and go be crucified. But one day you might have something happen and realize that life gets hard. People aren't kind to you. In other countries, the Middle East, there's Christians that are just murdered for just being Christians. And even right now, to this day, there's tons of Christian villages that are just being wiped out. They're just destroyed, and all these people are killed and murdered and slaughtered. It's unjust. It's not right. And these people are getting killed. And that's today. What makes you think, when the Bible says towards the end of times that it's only ever going to get worse, that it's somehow going to be okay, that it's not going to affect you, that it's only going to get better? You're lying to yourself. You're tricking yourself if you think that's the case. I'll be the first one to tell you, when I first started in Jesus, I had a really hard time. I had all kinds of addictions. I was a bad person. I was genuinely a bad person. And I had to pick up my cross and start following Jesus. I couldn't be the same. I couldn't act the same way. I couldn't do the same things that I was doing before. Otherwise, I was gonna wind up in hell. I had to change my life and listen to Jesus and become a better person and be different. And it was hard. I came to Jesus. I was an old zinner, as they say, and I was ripping packs of Zins every day. Not cigarettes or anything. It was a turtle, but I was doing that, drinking and swearing, cussing, being mean to people, being selfish. Life, when I started following Jesus, suddenly became not 100% about me all the time, every day. It became, I gotta trust Jesus, man. I gotta change these ways. I can't just be swearing all the time. I can't be going through 2 packs of Zin in a single day. That's not what God called me to live like, so why was I living like that? I was a bad person. I'll be the first to say I was a bad person. I wasn't living right. I was doing the wrong thing, and I shouldn't have been. There was no real excuse as to why I was living the way I was living. I shouldn't have been. And so it was hard. I had a really hard time when I first started following Jesus, setting all that aside and then realizing that I need to be a better person. I can't live like this. I need to change. And that's part of picking up your cross. It's not staying the same. It's doing hard things and realizing hard stuff's going to happen to you, and that you can't just think it's going to be a no struggle at all, no problem at all. You'll never have these issues again. You'll never be angry at someone. That's not the case. You know, I still get mad at people. I still get annoyed every day. I go to work and people annoy the crap out of me, and I would love to tell them what I think about them or how I feel or whatever else, and I don't. I have to hold myself back, and sometimes, I'll be real honest, it's really hard to do. I have a real hard time not being a jerk to people or being mean or, you know, telling someone what I think of them, telling them how stupid they are. It's hard sometimes, but that's what Jesus calls us to live like. And maybe you live a different life and you're actually getting persecuted. Maybe you live in one of those other countries, and like in China or the Middle East, and the Bible's banned, and you're not allowed to learn about Jesus or know about him or you follow him. It's illegal, and that's the case in some places. And following Jesus, I mean, it's not optional. God didn't say you have to hide it. He said, be like a candle, put it on the candlestick so your light shines. You don't hide it. And sometimes you want to hide it. Imagine if they came around and they said, okay, everyone that's a Christian, round you up, we're going to go put you in camps. Are you going to deny your faith? And what does Jesus tell us to do? And Jesus doesn't say to deny it. He didn't say, oh, just only follow me when it's easy, only preach my name when it is. The 21 martyrs, there's 20 people, 20 Christians, and they were all going to be killed by the Islamic people, Muslims. And then they're all sitting around, and there's one guy with them that didn't believe in Jesus. But these 20 other guys stood their ground. They did not renounce Jesus. Sword in the air, ready to cut their heads off, behead them, and yet they kept their faith. They kept praising Jesus. And that one guy that sat there, he ended up saying, whatever they believe, I believe. And I think he said he believes in Jesus. And so those 20 guys convinced the other one to come follow Jesus, to be part of it. Learn that Jesus is so important, he's so perfect, he matters so much that it's better to lose your life than to gain the world, because Jesus has overcome the world. He's better than the world. He created the world. He's more than it. And so those 20 guys, they got killed, and that other guy, he died right with them, because he said, I'm not going to denounce my faith. I'm going to trust Jesus. I'm going to follow him. I'd rather die than follow these, than to do something that goes against my beliefs. And the 20th guy, the 21 martyrs are what they called. They died. They got killed. They were beheaded by Islamic people because they said, I'd rather believe in Jesus and follow him with my life than to renounce him and just say, he doesn't exist or something. They just said, just say that you don't believe in him and we'll let you live. But they wouldn't do it. They held their faith and they died for it. And Jesus says that their reward in heaven is there for them. The people who hold their faith, whether you're murdered or you just keep it till the end of your life and you die in a hospital surrounded by your family, your reward is there. And those people that killed them, who knows? God works all things towards his glory. Maybe those Muslim people, they'll turn to Jesus now. They'll see that, man, these guys held their faith all the way to death, and these 21 guys and the other one even joined them because they were so firm in it, and then I killed them. Maybe I should just look into this. Maybe I don't know enough. Maybe I'll be open-minded. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they went and did it more. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. But the concept is that it's more important to hold your faith, and that following Jesus, when times get hard, when Jesus says don't have premarital sex, and then you get a girlfriend and you realize that's a hard thing not to do, and Jesus says deny yourself and follow me, and you want to go get drunk and party in college, and you suddenly have to say, oh, I'm not going to do that because Jesus says not to do that. Well, it's hard when all your friends are off to the bars and you're sitting in the dorm room by yourself. It's rough, but that's the life Jesus calls us to live. He doesn't say that it's going to be easy. It might be hard. It might be harder than when you weren't a Christian. There's good and bad, good and evil. Evil does not want you to follow Jesus. It wants to make it as hard as possible. The harder it is, the less people will do it. That's why at the end of times there'll be a falling away, because it'll get really hard. There'll be a time when you have to say, you'll find out if you really believe it when the sword's in the air ready to cut your head off because you won't denounce Jesus. I mean, that's going to be the time when you realize, is my faith firm in the foundation? I'm really trusting Jesus, knowing that I'm going to lose this life, but I'm going to gain a new one in him. Are you going to trust him then, or are you going to say, oh, whatever, it's just a little slip that I can just say, oh, I don't believe it, and then I'll go on about my life? You know, you make that decision. I don't know, but I'm just saying, Jesus tells us it's not going to be easy, it's only going to get harder, and that it's important that we look to him in all things, and we trust him, we know what he's going to do, and we take care of it, and to never renounce the faith. Jesus says, if you deny me, I'll deny you. So don't deny him. When you believe in Jesus, even if your friends ask you, if some random stranger asks you, do you believe in Jesus? You say yes, because you do. It's not optional. Jesus didn't give you an option. The Muslims, they can lie about it. Muslim people say, oh, if it's to gain the glory of God, you're allowed to lie. You're not allowed to lie as a Christian. You have to have morals as a Christian, and you have to follow them. They're not unchanging. Jesus is the leader of our faith, and we're called to live like him. And I'm not saying you have to live like Jesus to the point you go get crucified because for whatever reason, but if that's the thing, what it comes to, you better hold to it, because that's what Jesus did for you. And he remembered you. You know, Jesus knew on that cross, he knew your life, he knew your name, he knew who you were, and he died for you because he loved you. Do you love Jesus enough that you're willing to die for him? Because he did it for you. He already did. And he already overcame the world, so there's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to worry about. There's nothing for you to even stress out about, because Jesus took care of it. All you have to do is hold the faith and trust in him. And I got pretty deep into the trusting Jesus when you're about to be killed and all that stuff, but it could be different. It could just be you got to trust Jesus, and it's hard at school, or you want to go party, or you want to do Zen and vape and drink and smoke, or smoke weed, and you don't want to give it up, and it's hard. Well, you're now putting the other things above God. And we're all sinners. We're all going to struggle with sin. I'm not saying you're going to go to hell because you smoked a cigarette. I'm just saying it's hard, and you shouldn't stress about life getting harder or life being hard. Jesus didn't live an easy life, so don't expect that you're going to live an easy life. He told us it's going to be hard, so when it is, that's just what we expect, and we hold our faith in Jesus and work through it, and that's just how it is. It is what it is, as they say. It's nothing we can really do about it. We just keep trusting God and know that no matter what, he's in control. He's the defender and the founder of our faith, and that we can trust in him, and that we do. That's pretty much the video for today, guys. So I'm gonna leave it there, but remember, don't be afraid. Don't fall away. Plant your roots deep in Jesus, that when challenges come, trials and tests of your faith really come, that you hold true in Jesus, and that you don't just give up on him. He never gave up on you. When life's hard, look to Jesus. Don't do the easy thing. When someone offers you that beer and you're an alcoholic, say no. Just say no. Sometimes the trials and the temptations, they come in small things that don't seem like they matter, but eventually they do. Sometimes the iceberg doesn't look very big from the tip, but there's a lot more below it, and that's how some things lead. They start small and get worse, like vaping in high school, and then suddenly you smoke cigarettes the rest of your life, or you vape the rest of your life, and you have lung cancer and all this stuff, or you drink and now you're addicted, you're an alcoholic. It's just trust in Jesus. Life's going to be hard. Life's a short time. Eternity is a long time. 100 years, 80 years, 60 years is not a long time. It's the blink of an eye in comparison to all eternity. So trust Jesus. Give your life to him. Don't be afraid when the hard times come. Be happy that you have the chance to stand firm in your faith with Jesus. That's it for today, guys. I'll see you. Good luck with your following.